Hey, welcome in. Today we are back doing career tiny homes. We are rounding out the D's and we are officially doing the doctor's career house. Now, this one I had a lot of fun with. I went into Mount Komorebi, into the snowy escape world. I haven't built here in a very long time. And so I really wanted to just do as much as I could to make this really nice Japanese inspired home. I wanted it to feel very serene and light and just a place where someone who is a doctor would come home and find rest and solitude to just wipe the day away. And obviously I'm thinking in real life terms, your Sims obviously don't need that. But I liked the idea of it, and so that's where we went. Now, if you are new here or it's been a hot minute, these career tiny homes are basically tiny homes that help you move faster in your career. There is no specific science behind this, but basically a tiny home has different perks. So we're in the tier 2 tiny home, so you're going to get faster skill gain. You're going to be in a good mood. There's lots of different perks from each tier, and as the tiers go up, when you get into that tier 3 tiny home, then you're really looking at just being happy all the time and a reduced bills. But when you're in a micro home, there's so many perks. This is a tiny home, so it is 64 tiles. So you are going to get skill gain. You're going to be in a good mood, reduced bills. There's some really great perks. When you're in different careers, you need different skills. So that skill gain really comes into play. Now, for the doctor career, it is an active career from get to work. Active careers don't have branches like your regular careers, but you can get up to a level 10, which is chief of staff. You don't actually need any skills to be a doctor because you're playing that active career. So you're going into work every day and doing specific tasks, but they suggest handiness and logic to help perform your tasks throughout the day. And so when you go to work, there's different tasks that you're going to perform. You're going to treat patients that have been diagnosed. You're going to diagnose patients yourself, use all the different equipment they have. You're going to You're going to deliver babies, make house calls. So it's pretty fun. And this house really has nothing to do with a doctor other than I wanted to make it serene. That's the fun thing about this, is that these are all just up to my own interpretation how their house would look, and you really can go any way with these career homes. And I think that's really the fun of it, is that it's left so open. You can do whatever you want. This is just where I went with it, you know? And like I said, I definitely leaned into this very Japanese style. I had fun curving the roofs out. I do keep this very pack friendly. So we're looking at Snowy Escape, of course. We are looking at the For Rent pack and base game. And the reason I did For Rent is really because I really wanted to use that pretty trim around your roof. I felt like it added a really special moment. But other than that, I really did try to lean into using Snowy Escape. I didn't really want this to end up so dark on the outside like it did. It's a very pretty wood tone. I wanted to go lighter with it. The lighter wood felt like it should be interior, not exterior, which is obviously personal opinion. It did take me a moment to get our layout down. I wanted to keep it very symmetrical because I feel like that's like very serene, calming to the brain and the eyes. But in a tiny home, you don't always get that luxury. So your bedroom is very much that, minus the ladder that goes in. Obviously, that's off to one side. But your downstairs definitely ends up taking on aspects of that symmetricalness. I played around with the thought that I would have a bigger bathroom, but actually I get rid of this 6x2 tile and we end up going with a 3x1 tile bath, which is perfect because Snowy Escape is where you get one of those tiny little wall showers and you can create that 1x3 tile bath. Super easy. Your sim can get in there in that tiny little space and do what they need to. So we're getting closer at this point to what that looks like. I do shrink it down a little bit more. I've gone ahead and shrunk the bathroom down, and I was trying to lay this out where you walk into the living space and your kitchen's kind of on that back wall. I don't end up keeping that. You're already seeing me move things around. So you walk into the kitchen and you have a little sitting area, dining area, and you have your living area, lounging area in the back. Now, everything's really laid out the way that it's going to stay. However, I do get rid of the wall in between the two spaces and open it up a little more. I felt like there was too much of a disconnect. Already getting in there with my clutter, I love to clutter things, and this bookshelf was no exception. I do swap the candle and the TV. I liked all the rugs in here. I ended up using this really cool patch rug, which I really like. It's got some pretty swatches. I've used it quite a bit in the last couple months. I mean, I say quite a bit, like once a month maybe. But it's really pretty, and that blue swatch is absolutely lovely. And it really gave me a chance to lean into this beige, neutral, and blue color theme for this house. And that helped me really stay into that serene Zen home that I was looking for. So I'm back outside, and it's time to fill the rest of the house with windows. I wanted to make sure that there was a decent amount of windows, that it all flowed really nicely together. And I think it really does. I go ahead and fill the bedroom up with tons of windows. They are that opaque paneled window, so you really can't see through all of them. Only the top windows I put in, and then the window above the bed. But I like that thought. We talk about serene. What's a better way to wake up than to wake up with all this natural sunlight funneling into your room? For me at least, it's such a calming and wonderful way to start your morning. Just this natural sunlight, very calm and zen, serene. I love it. I do use the lighter color paneling in the bedrooms, living room, pretty much throughout the entire house. I really like that beige color. It really kept me in that neutral tone that I was looking for, especially when you think about that I have these dark windows. So the lighter walls, the lighter furniture really help to combat contrast being too dark. For the kitchen, I don't actually use a vent hood for your stove. I didn't like any of them with it, so we just kind of kept it open. And I do end up putting a shelf on the side, and I just clutter up the kitchen just a tiny bit. Not overly cluttered, because I didn't want to go that route. I wanted to make sure that everything stayed really functional in this house and didn't feel too cluttered to take away that very calm feeling that I wanted this house to produce. And I know it's The Sims, but a girl can dream, right? Outside, I knew that I wanted to do a pond. It just adds into this whole zen feeling that I was going for. The water for me is always super relaxing and calming. And so I created this little pond outside your house on the side of it. And we ended up putting some swans in there, stones everywhere, some lily pads. It's a really fantastic moment. The only thing that I struggled with because I did this pond is it made me unsure how I was going to do a backyard. What was I going to put back there? Was I going to just leave it kind of open with nothing back there? But I didn't want to do that because we talked about needing that handiness skill. While the woodworking table is not easy to just throw in all willy-nilly. It needs a sense of belonging and purpose. So I had to do something with the backyard. And that doesn't happen until the very end. But now here it is, the stones. Always doing my little stone thing. I think it's so cool. Adds a little something extra. It really fit this house more than anything. This house is play tested. Everything works. It's perfect. Everything. So when the house was finished, I went through and play tested because I take that little umbrella, the parasol, and I put it in a table and kind of alt place it. And the table is still functional. You can go and sit at it, but it really helped to keep that feel. For landscaping, I wanted it to feel lush, especially on the side that didn't have that pond. I didn't want that to feel forgotten or out of the loop of what this house was. So we definitely layer in lots of pretty flowers, the low-lying yellow flowers, and then I just go in with lots of little white bushes, daisies, and just add to this house as much as I could. And we just loop it around the side, and add this overgrown, lush feel, but still feels manicured and well kept. I was brave and went ahead and started using terrain paint, which is fine actually. None of it ended up disappearing, which was great because I did have to close my game out. It stormed really bad here yesterday and I wanted to close everything up, turn my computer off just in case we lost power. I did have to get out of the game, and when I got back in, all my terrain was still there, thankfully. But it also wasn't like extensive terrain. It worked. I put some swans and lily pads and kind of went around with some reeds. And I really love the way that the little pond looks. I think it's so pretty. I go ahead and add some columns in some different places around the house just to continue adding to a very cohesive feel in here. I was going to go with a very serene bathroom, but what's better than the snowy escape tile that has the mural on it? So we did the mountain mural. It has some nice beige tones to it, but then it has the pretty mountains. So that was kind of fun. It's a small bathroom. It could use a little crazy in there. This bedroom was a little OP, like overpowered in the color. So we scale it back. I did want to use Snowy Escape, so I didn't want to get away from using that bed. It just took me a minute to find a rug that fit the theme, didn't take away from anything, but just added to the full effect. And I really like this one. I turn it to a gray swatch because I feel like it matches the bed really well. Add a little mirror, and that's really it. I do put some curtains that you can walk through, but I didn't want it to clip over the ladder. I didn't want your sim to freak out. I do use this curtain. I end up getting rid of it because the curtain clips into the window, and it's fine. It would have been fine, right? But I didn't like that, so I ended up getting some short curtains for it, and it's perfect. I do go ahead and add a staircase from your upstairs patio to kind of bring this full backyard together. There wasn't a back door to this house, so instead you're upstairs, you can come down into this little backyard area, relax, hang out, do your woodworking, get that handiness skill up there, and just hang out there. I do put a table down there. It takes me a minute to get there. Get some trees in here. I was going to go with the red trees, but I feel like they didn't fit the house, so I do change the swatch to the green, and it doesn't take away from the house, and it keeps that really cool, calm feeling. We put some lights in the front, kind of readjust some things, and we are basically done. I am going to finish up a little bit of terrain paint because I'm adding these trees with some flowers underneath them, and I'm going to put a table in the back with that parasol so that way your sim can go outside from their patio, go downstairs, hang out there in their little backyard. And it's really open, so you can go in and add more things as you need, but we are basically done. So let's go ahead, jump into these screenshots and get the full feel for this place. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Keep coming back for more. We've got a long way to go. We are just in the D's, kind of rounding it out, finishing it up. If you like this build and want to be yourself, you can definitely have it. It's on the gallery, play tested, ready for you. My EA ID is katxthrash, just like my name here on YouTube. I hope you have a great night wherever you are. Bye, y'all.